Hi everyone, welcome back. I have another book review for you today, another resource from my bookshelf. This is a book that I already had on my Kindle, but I decided I had to buy a hard copy for no other reason than to bring with me to show people when I speak at schools, because I recommend this book more than any other book in my library because it is so helpful for so many families. And because honestly, so often when I get to Q&A times with parents asking me their questions and wanting advice, I feel like I need to say to them, this book is the answer to the questions that you're asking. I mean, anything I tell you is basically going to be what's in that book. Do what this book says. And so let me introduce you to one of my favorite resources for international families, Emotional Resilience and the Expat Child by Julia Siemens. Practical tips and storytelling techniques that will strengthen the global family. Now, this looks kind of like a big book, but the reason it's big is it's mostly a workbook. There's definitely writing and content and really encouraging stuff, but so much of this book is worksheets. It's places to write things down, pages you can copy out, ideas and exercises. For storytelling, for helping kids work through issues and doing that as a family. I mean, it's fantastic. It's so many practical resources. Anything that I would share as advice in these sessions and seminars and Q&A, this has got the practical exercises to do that stuff. And so, as I said, it's the #1 resource that I recommend. I was trying to work out what I could share from this book. I like to read some excerpts, and it's hard because the value of this book is in all this intangible stuff. It's in giving you practical tools, and I can't really, without reading the entire chapter, I can't really show you what the tool is and how it works and how you can apply that in your family and how she gives you all the tools to do that. All I can say is there's nothing else like it, and it's fantastic. It's comprehensive, but it's really easy to understand. So I did still want to read you something from this book. I had just picked a little paragraph that I think sums up a lot of why this book's worthwhile. And here's what it says. Parents need to act as guardians for their children's emotional and social growth. If we want to channel the passionate feelings of love we have for our children into a healthy approach to raising them, we need to think about how we want to prepare them to most successfully live the rest of their lives. That is what I want for all of the parents that I work with, is for them to have the tools to evaluate and think critically and make deliberate choices in how to raise their kids to be successful lifelong, not to achieve certain academic aims or anything like that or hit life markers, but to be healthy people. And to be healthy people, we have to have social and emotional growth. We need emotional health. I think that most people would say, if my kid did all those amazing things, graduated at the top of their class of high school and university and grad school and got the high-paying job, and they were all of these things, but they were a cruel person, a mean person, they didn't care for others, I think most parents would say that was not the life they wanted for their kids. We can't focus just on achievements. We've got to focus on emotional growth and emotionally healthy people. And I do find a lot of the time TCKs need a little bit more help developing those skills, because it's maybe not as reinforced as well in their class life, in their social life. And so giving parents tools to model this and to teach this at home is really, really important, because family is the place that's got some continuity, and developing these strategies and tools, helping your kids to deal with transition, helping them grow and express their feelings and not get it all bottled up, helping them to understand their feelings, giving them vocabulary to be able to talk about it. I talk a lot about the importance of having emotional vocabulary, and this book teaches you how to do that. Not just lists of words, but exercises on how to do these things. How to use storytelling to help kids work through their grief, their issues, what's going on. Same thing I do in workshops for TCKs. This book tells you how to do it as a parent. So there's a good reason this is my #1 resource that I recommend, because it has the answers to so many of the things that come up in Q&A, so many of the questions and anxieties that parents have. This is the book, and it's for any age. A lot of these activities, they're really primary school, elementary school age appropriate. You can be doing this stuff from a very young age as kids are growing and helping them manage things as they go. And some of them, you know, you can still adapt for older kids as well. But once they get to that age, you can have a different kind of conversation and be helping them find resources. But when they're too young to really understand and articulate what's going on, this book is telling you how to connect with them and how to help them and shape them and contribute that social and emotional learning that they really need. It's great to see a lot more international schools seeing the value of the social emotional learning. One of the reasons I love the Families in Global Transition organization and conference is that there is an emphasis on the social and emotional aspect of supporting expatriate families, whether that's through HR practices, whether that's through community groups, and supporting TCKs. That the social emotional can't be neglected, because if we don't focus on that, we end up with people who have breakdowns later on in life. That's not just a TCK thing, that's a life thing. If you don't learn to process your emotions appropriately, they come out sideways later on. TCKs do go through a lot of grief experiences when they're younger, and if they don't learn to process that grief, it does turn into problems later on. This is your toolbox. This is your list of ways to engage with your kid early in the process so that they're better equipped to deal with this stuff as they grow. I can't speak highly enough of this. But yeah, I wish I could just read you the whole book. But yeah, it's fantastic. And I love it. I really hope that you can get your hands on it. Like I said, I got it as a Kindle book before I got the hard copy. But yeah, there's so much that'd be worth having the hard copy if you can get access to it. And here's another one from my same publisher, although it was published 5 years before mine. I was definitely aware of it when I was preparing my book. So yeah, Emotional Resilience and the Expat Child. This is the one that you want. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you again soon.